Welcome, my loves. It is Knowledge Butterflies. Always sending you guys out peace, blessings, love, and abundance. Yes, yes, yes. Um, this video is about growing pains. And if you grew up like I did in the um, late 80s, I think they had a TV show called Growing Pains. And I'm not talking about that TV show. I'm talking about the growing pains of spirituality. And what that really is realizing that through this journey you're going to have you're going to have challenges. You're going to have times where you might feel like, what the fuck am I doing? There are going to be times where you might feel like you are alone, or you know what I'm saying, like you're in this alone. But it's really about understanding that that's a part of the process. When we think about being a child, when you were little, looking at my little niece, seeing her going through the teething, we all went through teething. That's a painful process, but we went through it and we survived it. You go through growth spurts, so your bones start, stretching and things of that nature, but you survive it. You go through puberty and all these um, other different changes in your physical form. So the same way that we go through changes on a physical level, when we're going through spiritual growth and on our spiritual journey, we're also going to go through changes, and those are just part of the growing pains. And the beautiful thing about growing pains is when you come out on the other side of it, and excuse me, and you can look back at it and realize that if you hadn't went through that, where would you have been? You know what I'm saying? We can actually look at that not even just in spirituality, look at it just in your life as a whole. Like, I lost my mother when I was 30 years old. So it's 11 years on February the 12th. Yeah. So this month will mark the 11th year that my mom transitioned to spirit. And when I lost her, that was the hardest hit I've ever experienced in this lifetime. Um, and I shouldn't even use the word loss. When she transitioned from the physical realm back to spirit, it was really difficult for me and my sisters. She wasn't a perfect mother, but she wasn't meant to be a perfect mother. She was meant to be exactly who she was in order for me to become who I am today. And I actually give thanks for her sacrifice, because she was a sacrifice from this family, like, in order to be a wake-up call for us. And even though it took me 8 years after her transition to really start to awaken to the truth of myself, um, it still was the catalyst for me being where I am here today. So definitely sending my mom love in the spirit world. Another thing that I wanted to add is that a lot of us are beginning to understand more and more that the two sides to ourselves, the two sides of the coin, the light and the dark, and that neither one is more important than the other, but they work together in order for you to really find who you truly are, to find a true balance and harmony in yourself. And the light, a lot of times, to me, is representative. It represents what we like to show people, the me that we want people to see. It's the person on social media that we post about posting. It's when we feel like posting, we're posting most of the time out of the light. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we want people to see. But that darkness is that part of us that we've hidden from other people. And the only people that actually are able to witness, to bear witness to that particular version of ourselves is, of course, ourselves and the people that are closest to us. Especially when you get in a relationship, that person sees a lot of your darkness, because when it comes to arguments and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? So this is literally uh, one of those things where it's not a spooky thing. It's just all of the parts of you that you do not share with other people is about starting to let that part of yourself out. Because that's why a lot of times when people get drunk, you see a different side to them. You be like, who is this person? Like, you know what I'm saying? And where have they been? And I used to be like that it was a lot of anger that I pushed down. So that's what will come up to the surface. But whatever you've been pushing down, it's to start to like deal with that part of yourself and to figure out the parts of that self that you push down that's beneficial and the parts that are not beneficial. And what's beneficial you keep and what's not you let go. And if it's beneficial, start to share that part of you. You know what I'm saying? Be your own unique self, because you can't really touch nobody if you don't let your true light shine, right? Realizing coming out of this relationship that I was pushing down a lot of stuff within myself because I didn't want that person to see me in a different manner or a different way. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really expressing myself completely because I had a fear. That's a fear. And fear stems from your ego. Your ego is always going to tell you not to do something because it's afraid of um, of not being comfortable, being taken out of its comfort zone, and also not having control. Because when you do something that's not in your normal routine, the ego gets scared. You know, it gets fearful. So, it, anytime you feel yourself like not expressing yourself fully, just know that there's a part of you that you're not being true to. You know what I'm saying? There's a part of yourself you're not being true to. You're not being honest, completely honest with yourself. And that's something I had to learn with that relationship ending. And that's why on Instagram I was just sharing all kind of shit last night. I was sharing all kind of shit last night because I wanted to like um to put my ego at bay, you know what I'm saying, and not let my ego take control of my consciousness, because that is really I might as well still be, sleep, in slumber, if I allow my ego to take over my conscious journey, my spiritual journey. I can't have that, you know what I'm saying? So let your light shine. Don't let anybody tell you that um that who you truly are is not is not quote unquote good, or that there's a bad. You know what I'm saying? Because if there's a good, then it has to be a bad. If there's a hot, it has to be a cold. It's the duality. It's getting back to duality. If there's light, there has to be dark. So dealing with your what they call your shadow self, that's the dark part of you. That's what you push down. That's creating a shadow self. All of the things that you push down that you always wanted to express but you didn't because you were in fear, you were fearful how people will look at you. Deal with that. start to Start to allow yourself to be free. Be free. A lot of us have put ourselves in prisons, in mental prisons, in cages. I really was looking at social media yesterday in a different perspective, and I shouldn't say different. I just got a deeper understanding of a perspective that I had already noticed, that it literally is still school. It's still high school. It's still cliques. It's still social programming. That's why it's called social media. It's social programming at its finest. So you have people um, who are collectively grouped based upon what their interests are. That's literally what it is. Just like in school, you had the cheerleaders and the jocks. You had the nerds. You had the people who were like the oddballs. You had the people who were the quiet, ones and things of that nature, and kind of stayed under the radar. You just had these different cliques in social, and you watch because I still love watching all those teen movies and things of that nature, like dealing with high school, because it interests me to look at the social programming that goes on with school. And the reason why so many children commit suicide is because they bought into it. You know what I'm saying? And so they really can't see a way out of the program or the box that they have put themselves in. All right. So get yourself out of your box, break out of your own box, and be your true self. Live your life. Because the reason why a lot of people are unhappy is because you are pretending to be something that you're not, because you want to please other people. And what that gets you is absolutely nothing. And in trying to please those people, most of the people that you're afraid to like share yourself on social media about, most of those people are not even being their true selves, and they are not happy. So why would you try to worry about what they think? you know? So I really just wanted to share that with you guys really quickly. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, I love you guys. Peace. Now I got to end this video. Still like not have that awkward pause. All right. Love you guys. Peace.